Hello there, my name is Mo with my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with 2 E's. Dance, magic, dance. Jump, magic, jump.
There we go.
As always, I'm with my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Fantastic. And as always, you can listen to us on any audio podcast platform. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. We watch our video version on our YouTube channel, The Real Show, Real with 2 E's.
Correct.
Or you can interact with us on Twitter at The Real Show FM. Fantastic. Now, how do you do a magic jump?
Well, I said before it would be like a double jump. So you jump once.
And you do
It's like a normal jump.
Normal jump.
And then the extra one is
you jump.
Yeah.
You do a magic jump.
Maybe
so
it's like
jump, magic, jump.
Unless maybe it's like a really.
But how do you do a magic dance?
Abracadabra.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what it is.
Is that the magic dance?
Yeah, because you.
We're doing Labyrinth.
Yeah, we are.
It's came to cinemas on November 15th, 1986.
Yeah.
So it's just been that just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So we're gonna review Labyrinth.
We are.
It's an excuse.
Yeah.
It's an excuse to review Labyrinth.
Bit of Labyrinth, bit of
Because
Jim Henson.
we love Labyrinth and we love Jim Henson.
Yes.
I love Jim Henson.
I also love Jim Henson.
I'm a big fan of The Dark Crystal.
You are indeed.
Probably my favourite film. I do love The Dark Crystal. The world, the lore, the puppetry, the practical effects.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. Here we've got the same thing.
We do.
We've got the puppetry, we've got the lore, and we've got the practical effects.
We do.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But it doesn't start off with practical effects. No. It starts off with Jennifer Connelly.
Mm-hmm.
She's 14 years old. She's running through the field, doing a bit of Shakespeare in the Park.
Yep.
By herself.
Yes.
With her dog and an owl.
Correct.
That might just be there.
Yeah.
Is it her owl? Is it a bad CGI owl at the start of the film?
Maybe.
Is it? I don't know. Is it a goblin in disguise? Maybe?
I was gonna say, in my head, it was like meant to be like, they're like watching over.
They're watching. Yeah, the owl watching it. Yeah. Her dog's cool though. Her dog's cute.
Yeah.
She's with the dog. She's doing the performance. She's reading from a book that's called Labyrinth.
Yep.
And she's like, I journey through the Goblin City. You cannot have no power over me. But she always forgets that line.
Yeah.
She always forgets you have no power over me. She always forgets that line. But then, suddenly, she's late. She's late. Oh, no. She's got to run back to her house.
Yep.
Where her mum and her shoulder pads are really mad at her. How come every 80s film always someone's late for something?
I don't know.
It's like the school bell rings. You go, I'm late to babysit my baby brother.
Well, how do you build tension? Obviously,
it's raining. You got to run at home. You got to run home when it's raining late in the 80s. You're late for something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Labyrinth is part of that weird 80s stint of films where it's like it's PG, but we're gonna scare you.
Yeah.
It's like Dark Crystal. It's PG, the nice puppets dancing around. Oh, the bird's gonna crumble into dust and die. Ah, you got a hero, we're gonna stab him in the back with these knives. Oh, exactly. And Doc, you're gonna suck your essence with this beam. Whoa. The podling's face just goes like it just like squashes like a wet flannel.
Yeah.
When you grip a wet flannel, it goes like that.
Yep.
Her parents, her mum and Zev Suneska from Empire Strikes Back, are very mad at her. She's got to go upstairs and watch her baby brother, Toby Froud.
Got to babysit.
The son of Brian Froud, one of the makers of this film.
Yep.
Along with Jim Henson and George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Back when George Lucas was really experimental, he hadn't got the Star Wars bug.
Yeah.
1986, Empire Strikes Back, big success. He's not got into the prequel stank yet of 1999, and he's the inventive one of the gaggle of filmmakers. Steven Spielberg, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas. He was the experimental guy. He was the guy who was willing to take the risks. So Sarah, she's unhappy with Toby. He keeps crying all the time.
He does, yeah.
So she decides to do a sane thing.
Yep.
And call out to the Goblin King.
Obviously.
As you do.
Oh, why wouldn't you?
As you do.
Yeah, why not?
And then it cuts to a bunch of goblins.
Yes.
Who are just sitting around, sleeping all day. Apart from when someone asks for them, apparently.
Yes.
If someone goes, hey, goblins! They're all like, huh? You're looking around for goblins.
For the burst front door in a minute.
Hey, that's a great goblin. David Bowie's going to come through that door.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like him to. Continue. The goblins are intrigued by
Yes,
her.
they are. And she calls out to the goblins and she asks for them to take her brother away. And then
She's got to say, I wish.
yeah, because she keeps saying it, and they're like, oh, she's not said the right thing yet. She's not said the right, and then she
Yeah.
says it, and then they
I wish you'd take away Goblin King, oh
Yeah.
Goblin King, please take this child away from me.
Yep.
And then the owl attacks her
yeah,
because Hogwarts have got a aggressive new application policy.
of course.
And then here he comes
Yep.
through the window. He's sparkly.
There he is.
He's got the big coat on. He's got the big rough, the 80s hairdo.
Yep.
Glam rock, very glam rock hair.
Yeah,
The big collar, the big coat. It's David Bowie as Jareth the Goblin King.
Correct.
The star of this film.
yes,
He's got the front billing. Jennifer Connelly's great, and we'll get on
Yeah.
how great she is. But he is also just marvelous.
Yes.
From his first line, he grabs you right out the screen. He goes, "What's said is said. Forget about the baby." And you go, "Oh!" And you just melt
Yep.
melt in the mouth. His voice is, you know.
Yep.
David Bowie's just so magnetic. He's so charismatic. He's got everything.
no, he does.
And
He does.
I was discussing this with a Bowie fan.
Go on.
I said that they don't think he's that great at acting. I was like, oh, come on, he's fantastic. But his performance, it's performance, isn't
Yeah.
it, at the end of the day, isn't it? It's performance. You're not on stage, you're on a screen. But it's still that level of performance. How he's walking around, he keeps looking, and he's got those cool... it's called something, but
Yeah.
his eyes are... One of his eyes different colour than another one. That makes him look like one of those cool cats.
Yeah.
And David Bowie is a very cool cat.
Yep.
As you could say.
You could.
He's slinking around. He's got the voice, and I think he's got that level of performance that carries it off and carries this film.
He does.
And then David Bowie's like, "Where's your baby? He's there in the Goblin City."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Is that the Goblin City?" And he goes, "No, that's a painting.
Yeah, that's
That's
also
a model."
it's also a normal reaction
And
to
that's
have.
a poorly rendered blue screen effect.
Yeah.
But what do you care? I'm David Bowie. Any time he's there, you're just, oh, he's David Bowie.
Yeah.
And you can't take your eyes off of him.
Yeah, that's also a completely normal reaction. This man's just flown in.
Exactly.
And it's like, is that not the fact you've just like kidnapped my brother?
The fact that she thinks that everything is... It's so fantasy. The fact that this person doesn't flinch at all at any of this happening.
No.
Sarah is like, oh yeah, all these goblins are appearing. Oh, there's a goblin. Oh, you're the Goblin King. You look
Yeah.
strangely like David Bowie, but you're the Goblin King. And... yeah, I think it's all completely normal.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go along with it. Well, she's in the world of fantasy, you know. It's like...
Yeah,
She's got a wall of teddy bears, and she knows precisely which teddy bear is missing.
she does.
She's like, Lancelot? She does kind of graduate from the George Lucas school of faster and more intense.
Yeah,
Because at the start, no, she gets better as the film
She
goes
does.
on. But at the start, she's a very whiny child actor. And I don't like that.
yeah.
She's very whiny. She goes, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And then she says something. What does she say at the start? She says, because her dad's like, I'll come up and talk to you. And she goes, oh, you went up and talked to me. You practically kicked down the door.
Yeah.
And she falls on her bed backwards. And you're like, oh, come on. Get a grip, woman.
Yep.
She's only 14.
Yes, she is.
I go, get hold of yourself. Get your life together.
Yeah.
What are you doing running around in the park
Yeah,
wearing a dress, shouting about Goblin Kings?
yeah.
You know, go get a job.
Sure. Yeah.
Get a job. The Goblin King
Yes.
says, "There's my castle. You must go to the Goblin City." So she just steps into the world,
Yeah.
as you do.
Yeah.
She goes down the hill from the Goblin City, and she's got 9 hours, is it?
Yeah.
And then to solve the labyrinth,
And to get in the middle.
to get in the middle of the labyrinth to the Goblin Castle,
Yeah.
before her baby brother
Yep.
becomes a goblin.
Yes.
Now, my first question is: are all those goblins
Other
formerly
babies or yeah.
and everyone who didn't solve the labyrinth has just been trapped in there forever?
Maybe.
Maybe. She meets Hoggle,
She does.
who's gassing fairies,
Yes.
which is the most which is the most alternate fantasy thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool, cute little fairies. Oh, they bite you. They're like pests. They're like mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, the fairy bit me. And Hoggle turns around and he goes, what do you expect fairies to do? You know, and I think Labyrinth is one of the first films. You know, screw The Witcher.
Yeah.
Screw all that. I'm trying to think of another alternate fantasy that does that kind of thing. Screw like things that are like, oh, you think a fancy thing's really cool, but it's actually really twisted and wrong.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have liked fairies. But this is what Labyrinth does very well. It takes the first hint of that and brings it in. Like, oh, fantasy's not what it seems. Oh, the labyrinth. You're going to solve the labyrinth. You think it's a fairy, but it's going to bite you. You go to that door where one guard can only tell the truth and the other guard can only lie. But surely, let me break this immediately for you, the one that just said that will be telling the truth. He can't lie. He will not be telling the truth, because if he does, he'd be telling the truth.
Yeah.
And I've just ruined that.
Well,
So,
in all fairness, I've heard that riddle so many times, and it always like falls out of my head and how it's solved. I've never.
But you've never got it.
I've got it, but like if someone asked me like a week later the same riddle, I'd forget.
Oh.
I'd be like, I can't remember.
But I think it's the way they kind of bounce off
each
other. That's how it's done.
It is, but
That's
I
how you
can't remember which one you meant to
start with.
Yeah.
I guess. We've not got to that bit yet.
No, we
Hoggle says, I'll help you through the labyrinth. He takes you through the labyrinth, and then she runs down a very long hallway.
Yes.
And a small caterpillar says, you've got to look the other way, and then it's like an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Because the door, there is an opening, but you've just got to walk through the wall almost, and it's an optical illusion. There are two walls, but it's like forced perspective, as they say. She carries on, comes up to those doors, and there's the hands. If we can just touch on the practical effects for a moment.
Yes, of course.
And how good they are.
They're great.
Some of your favourites?
You know what? I quite like in this she's going through the labyrinth and she like chalks the floor and like whatever they are, I don't know if they're worms or something, keep like popping up and like
the little men
flipping stones over and
yeah.
Like stuff like
lipstick she has, by the way. She has lipstick, and she keeps writing arrows on the floor so she knows where she's going. And then the little creatures will pop up and turn them over.
Or the like massive like the stones.
Oh, the stone heads. Oh, I love those. They goes, turn back now.
Yeah.
You must leave. Legends of the Hidden Temple. You know,
this is off. Please let us do it once.
Please let us do it once. He always says that. I think they're great. Those poor stone heads never get anyone walking through that passageway. They got to entertain themselves somehow, and they never get to do it all day. They're waiting to do. Is he going to come by yet? No, we have to say the line. I'm waiting to say, turn back now. No, don't go that way. Legends of the Hidden Temple. You know, they're all waiting to say the line.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like a really badly done stage production.
Yeah.
But the Labyrinth, I think the practical effects and how it's all embedded together and the creature design is like Dark Crystal. Come on, look at that. And this is as well. The creature design of Hoggle, the suits, the what was another thing that I really liked? How the mouths of the door knockers, when you get to the doors, now the door knockers, Ludo is just a huge
he's
whatever he is, like a furry Balrog.
Pretty much.
He's like a Chewbacca kind of suit, and I really like that. Even the little goblins.
Yep. The
designs of the little goblins. Like there's one that's just got a really squashed face. And I like that. His face is like really scrunched up, and he's like, ugh, like that. I think they're like orcs. I'm really impressed with all the goblin suits and everything.
Yep.
And the fact that it makes David Bowie stand out even more than David Bowie would stand out.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about a bit of nightmare fuel, but scaring kids, then weird, like what even are they? Like the red, feathery ones, that, like take all the heads off.
We're going to go into that. Because that is one point. I will leave that for a little bit. Because I've got a few notes on that scene.
Oh, of course you do. Doesn't surprise me.
Of course. And even the smaller creatures that we get that appear every now and then, like the caterpillar thing, like that. That's a tiny little model.
Yes.
But it does so well. The bird on top of that guy's head. and how it can move, like a sock puppet,
Yep.
how it can move freely, and to think about how much that would be in terms of creature creation,
Yeah.
and the feathers and the fur and the other material and the animatronics and everything to do with that, and the puppetry. Jim Henson's all about practical puppetry.
Yes.
And it really shines through in Labyrinth. But it's in front of the camera. You know, I was having a discussion with someone a few weeks ago who were talking about CGI versus practical effects, and they're like, they say what. One of the things they said was, but it doesn't. A puppet. If you have a puppet in front of you, it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean it doesn't look real? It's there in front of the
Yeah.
camera. It's real. I can touch it.
Yeah.
I can go up to that weird sleepy man and touch his big mustache.
Correct.
And touch the bird. You know, I can go up to Ludo and give him a big hug. And that's what you want with these creatures, don't you? You want them to be really practically there in front of you. Like if there was a goblin here, you could touch his little face.
Yep.
You know, he'd probably be really slimy or something. Or I imagine they'd be really crinkly. Like a crunched up piece of paper.
Yeah.
You know, if you touch a goblin.
Yeah, you know what? Probably not far off, in all fairness.
What creature from Labyrinth would you like to touch?
I mean, Ludo seems soft.
Ludo does seem soft.
There's what's he called? The like musketeer.
Oh, he's got a name.
He does.
For some reason, I remember the name of his dog, but not him. You know, he's the musketeer. He's like a fox. He's like a fox. He's like a dog, isn't he? The musketeer's like a dog.
The one that's like, no one shall pass without my permission.
Yeah, and then Sarah's like, can we have your permission? I mean, that's what I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, can we have your permission?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure,
Yeah.
go ahead, pass.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's like the bridge. It's like the bridge guy from Monty Python.
Yeah.
But if we can go on to Sarah for the thing, she's just the great hero for this, isn't she?
Yes.
I think not only is her outfit great, she's very fancy herself. I like the sort of flowy shirt she has and kind of the waistcoat. I think that's very. She's dressed up like someone who would be having this fantasy adventure.
Yeah.
And she's dressed in that sort of not flowery way, but very majestic, graceful manner of the flowing shirt and the kind of coat, and I think that works great for her. I think she's a great protagonist, and I'm Jennifer Connelly does a good performance.
She does,
especially for her age. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Especially for how young she was at the time. I think, and it gets better as the film goes on, which is it starts off a bit here and there, but as I said, a bit whiny, but it gets better because as she's learning the Labyrinth, her performance improves.
Yeah.
In the Labyrinth as well.
It does.
But I wonder if Coy's performance will improve with some trivia. Labyrinth trivia. Take us away.
Dangle, bobbity boo. Trivia.
Dingle dangle bobbity boo.
Trivia.
Thank you, Corey.
Welcome.
Welcome to trivia.
Right, here we go. Trivia time.
Give us some trivia about Labyrinth. Very excited.
The owl in the title sequence is computer generated. The first attempt of a photorealistic CGI animal character in a feature film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big achievement there.
The various things that Jareth does with the crystal balls are not camera tricks. They are actually done by Michael Moxon, who is an accomplished juggler. He was crouched behind David Bowie with his arms replacing Bowie's.
Yes.
To do all the contact juggling, is what it's called.
Okay.
With little kind of balls there. The dance magic scene consisted of over 48 puppets, 52 puppeteers, and 8 people in goblin costumes.
Wow. People in goblin costumes?
Apparently.
Okay.
Here's a little fun fact for you. A hoggle puppet. A hoggle puppet.
A hoggle puppet?
Yeah. Got lost on an airplane when it eventually turned up at an unclaimed baggage in Scottsboro, Alabama.
No.
It wasn't in the best condition, so was restored and placed along with the belongings he was travelling with in a display case at the airport's entrance.
Excellent. Is he still there today?
I hope
I'll
so.
look that up.
I really would hope so.
Is he still? Imagine somebody found that. You thought someone had been killed or something.
Like,
you know.
What?
What? Maybe you thought you'd be having some kind of labyrinth adventure.
Yeah.
To find that, hey.
And for any radio listeners, if you're listening to us on the radio and heard Dance Magic at the start of the show, David Bowie did the voice gurgling for the baby in the song Magic Dance.
Nice. Of course he did.
Because why not?
Yeah.
There's also a miniature video camera in Ludo's right horn
Okay.
that fed to a small screen installed inside his head.
Yes, he's still there.
So is he still there?
Hoggle is still there. As of 20th of April 2023, which is a few months ago, Hoggle is still there.
Right.
If you're interested, there he is.
Look at that.
Look at that. No, but yeah, he's not in the best condition. His face is a bit messed up, but
Yeah.
he looks like Hoggle.
Also, you were speaking about the Monty Python bridge scene.
Yep.
Monty Python member Terry Jones wrote the first draft of the script. Jim Henson then let others rewrite Jones's draft. Henson then went back to Jones, saying the script had lost its humour, and asked Jones to put the jokes back in.
Okay.
Jones then tried to pull it back to his original version, but had to retain some of the different directions the script had taken. Jones's biggest problem with the final draft was that the centre of Labyrinth was shown before Sarah got there.
Okay.
So similar stuff was written by one of the people of Monty Python.
Well, to that point,
Yes.
I think that the fact that we see everything with Sarah is the best point of this film.
Yep.
Because Sarah is our protagonist. Not only is she our protagonist, she's also our way into the world.
Yes.
She summons the Goblin King.
Correct.
She brings everything together.
Yep.
She should be the way through. She's like our point of view. She's our perspective.
Yeah.
She's our entrance. There's a name for it.
There is.
The fact that she is our entrance into the world. She is who we experience everything with.
Yep.
So she's with that, or she's in the place of the audience. She's saying, "Oh, look, here's the Goblin King. He's David Bowie, and he's gonna show me his magic balls." And
I mean, he's showing you something in this film.
yeah, he is. He's definitely showing you something.
Yeah.
In between. It's like, yeah, definitely about that. He's wearing quite tightly fitting trousers.
Yeah, just Google a picture of him in this film. You know what one about.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. not only for his glam rock hair and his like his coats and jackets.
Yeah.
But also for something else he might.
Yeah.
Not only does Gareth bring his great outfits and great performance, he also brings us his great quotes, and like he's very quotable.
Yeah.
Like my favourite quotes from the Goblin King in this film, David Bowie, is when they just go from the scenes with the talking stone heads.
Yep.
And they see one of the magic orbs, and it's rolling down. It rolls into this guy's pot, and then they go over to him, and he's like a hobbled little guy and just sitting down, and then suddenly David Bowie appears and he goes, nothing, tra-la-la, and like, Bowie, why did you just say that, Bowie? Nothing, tra-la-la, what kind of line is that?
I don't know.
Nothing, tra-la-la, like, what? That's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
But it's so Bowie, and that's what carries it.
Yeah.
And also when he goes on that stench, stench tirade, where he really rides that stench angle, because he goes, I'll dip you into the bog of eternal stench, and then Hoggle's like, no, don't do it, and then later he talks to Hoggle again, and he goes, I'll dip you in the bog of eternal stench before you could blink, watch out, Hoggle, and then, no, he doesn't call him Hoggle, he calls him like Hogwhip or something, he keeps misnaming him. Then, at the end, and then he goes, I'll not dip you into that bog of eternal stench. If you could get Sarah to kiss you, I'll make you into a prince. And then Hoggle goes, really? And then goes, Prince of the land of stench. I still got you. I still got you with the stench angle. That's where I can imagine him at parties throwing that joke out. Hey,
if you were at the
I'll show you my bog of eternal stench.
If you were at the
in the bathroom.
It'll show you it.
Careful, don't go in the bathroom, everyone. I've turned it into a bog of eternal stench.
Well, this leads on to my next question, which was going to be, if you were at the bog of eternal stench.
Oh no, I'm not at the bog of eternal stench, Corey. The bog of eternal stench.
What does your bog of eternal stench smell like?
Oh no. No, don't do it. I'm Hoggle. I am Hoggle, really, aren't I? I'm no David Bowie.
No. If I was at a bog, it'd be like the weird, eggy, sewery smell you get from drains sometimes.
Oh, no. I think maybe egg. Well, egg is a bad smell.
I agree. Yeah.
I would say maybe egg is a bad smell.
Yeah.
I was about to say something really. Prawn cocktail. I cannot stomach the smell of a prawn cocktail. Anything crisps. No, I don't like it. It just puts me off.
Yeah. So that'd be your bog.
A bit me specific.
That'd be a lot of people's bog of eternal.
Enjoyment.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, bog of eternal good smells. What's your bog of eternal good smells?
Oh, aren't they like
Ooh,
marshmallow
sugary,
or something?
Yeah. My sugary chocolate, maybe that's melty chocolate. Yeah, but then I think I don't want to drown in melted chocolate.
Like Augustus Gloop.
Bog, eternal bog of melted chocolate. No, master, not the bog of melted chocolate. Yes, I'll turn you into a prince. Prince of melted chocolate. No. Well, no, they do encounter the bog of eternal stench.
They do.
Which I swear she does step in. Because those rocks are covered in bog water.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Also, Ludo doesn't somehow. And he's heavy.
Well, the rocks are, maybe they're like
touching the floor.
Touching the floor, yeah, maybe they're like mountains, kind of. Mountains, if you understand what I mean. There's rocks underneath. It's like an iceberg.
Yeah.
So Ludo's going to be fine. The rocks aren't floating, I don't think.
I also feel sorry for that dog, whatever
It's also
he is.
Labyrinth. Why are we questioning the physics of any of this?
Yeah, that's true.
Is my point. Why are we questioning the physics of any of this? It's Labyrinth.
Is the weird
magic is a...
musketeer thing? What is he? Is he a skunk?
No, he's a dog.
Because he's at the bog.
Or a fox.
So is the joke that he's a skunk because he smells bad? Or is he not?
He can't smell the bog, though. He says he cannot smell the bog.
Yeah, that's true. I can't remember what he looks like.
Maybe he's just got a blocked nose.
I remember his outfit. I don't remember
his hat.
Like,
He goes, I'll fight you. I'll fight all of you.
Yeah.
He goes to the guard at the front of the city and he goes, I'll take you on. I'll beat you. He starts hitting him with a stick, and Sarah's like, no, don't do it. We've got to go through the doors, you see. And the journey to the castle takes you through the gardens. It takes you through all the woods. It takes you through the stone hallways and all that, and through the bog of eternal stench, and also through the sort of trash fields or something.
Yeah.
Where like the old hermit women live who carry all the stuff on their backs from their lives, I think. And then it gives us like a false ending, a false finish. You're like, wow, film, you really tricked me. With no ending or climax or resolution. With half an hour of the film left to go. You've really deceived me there into thinking it was all a dream.
Yeah.
And then the old woman comes to the door. She goes, "You must learn the things you have in life. You must like all this stuff." And she starts putting it on her back, and it starts to build her big, like hermit crab shell. And then she realizes, because wait, no, she ate the peach.
Yes.
Millions of peaches. She eats Hoggle's cursed peach.
Yes.
That she says that he tries not to give to her.
Yep.
Because he's a good guy.
Yes.
But Jareth is like, you better, that bog of eternal stench is calling your name, Hoggle.
Yep.
It's a coming. You better watch out. So Hoggle has to give her the peach, and she eats it, and she forgets her memory. And what I can only understand is every 14-year-old girl's dream, which is dancing with David Bowie.
Yep.
It's definitely mine. I'd like to dance with David Bowie in a nice fancy ballroom dress, as we spin eternally through the night. And he shows me his bog of eternal stench, and his magic balls, and his but look, right, listen.
Yeah.
During the start of that dream sequence, it does open with him.
It does.
Twirling his balls.
Yeah, it does.
And that they're sort of global. I thought they were bubbles initially, but.
Yeah.
No, they look like bubbles. You know when you get a bubble and it's like it's got that sort of the bit that's shiny on it.
Yeah.
And it's got with them, and he can create them out of thin air. And they have a wonderful dance number together.
Mm-hmm.
And then David Bowie wipes her mind with the mind wiping power.
Yeah.
So I've got hiccups. Mind wiping power, and it's David Bowie. He's doing it to me for, and. But she has to come back to her senses and resist that this is not her life. She doesn't want this to be forever. So she leaves the dream and she gets back to the Goblin City. And here we are at the Goblin City. Ludo's there.
Yes.
And Hoggle's there.
Correct.
And her little fox friend is there.
I'm trying to find out his name.
Find out what his name is. He's also there. They go into the city, and David Bowie does what he should have done immediately and sends loads of armies to capture her.
Yes.
He sends all of his goblin hordes. His goblin hordes arrive, and they get into a big fight. He has to fight this goblin mech first.
Yeah.
My God, look at that! This thing's terrifying. He's got a big axe. He's really slow though, so he is able to. They're able to dodge that axe pretty well. But he's swinging. They're like, oh, watch out! And it takes like 3 shots for the axe to actually come near them.
Yeah.
You know, shot of the guy moving his arm. He's swinging the axe. He's still swinging the axe.
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
Yeah.
She ducks, and the axe kind of slowly moves over her head and hits the wall.
Yeah.
And also, those spikes are clearly rubber because the dog hit it in the back, and you didn't even notice.
Nope.
Because the trick is that you're walled into this fight with this big goblin mech. I can only describe it as a goblin mech.
Yeah.
And the spikes come up from behind the door, don't they? The
Yes.
spikes pop up, and then because it's played by a real dog, this dog in the shots where it's not a puppet dog.
Yep.
This dog hits one of the spikes and it just boings like it's a piece of rubber.
Yep.
Or foam. And I noticed that. Another thing that I noticed, just because I always do this, is I like to watch the extras, Chris.
You do.
I like to watch the people in the background and what they're doing. When Ludo summons his rock army,
Yeah.
to because he can control rocks.
You can.
He summons his army of boulders to fight the goblin army, and if you look around one of the buildings, there is a rock eternally chasing a goblin. They're just going around this one like pole, around and around and around. Like the rock. I don't know whether the rock's chasing the goblin or the goblin's chasing the rock, but they're just going around and around. They're like, that is the best joke. I'm so glad I saw that. What did you like about the climax of Labyrinth here?
You know what? I don't know. I just quite. It's just an interesting world. It's just an interesting I like kind of this weird fantasy.
Yeah,
thing.
It is weird fancy, isn't it?
It's just weird and unhinged sometimes, and bizarre, and well, yeah. I mean, it's just got a bit of everything.
Yeah, even the puppet characters. If you've never seen Labyrinth before,
Yeah.
do yourself a favour and just look up some of the puppet characters,
Mhm.
because the fact that they all have this kind of very clear creational through line.
Yep.
And what's even more interesting is the puppets that didn't get made.
Okay.
Like doing my research, I found stuff for like things with super long necks, things like weird big bulging eyes.
Yep.
Like some of the sort of test images of what became Hoggle, what became like some of the goblins. Even the designs for the goblins. There's one goblin who's just got like a big cone around his neck. And there's one goblin with I've mentioned the squash face goblin as well. There's like the goblin and the hats and the capes and the helmets.
Yep.
And all of that type of stuff. I think the creation of the actual puppets themselves and the animatronics are just absolutely fantastic. You know the Henson Company really are really successful in that type of thing. Obviously with Dark Crystal and all of that. And now, just to mention one thing, the practical effects are really good.
They are.
The blue screen effects, not so much.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's 1986.
Yep.
And you want to pioneer this kind of thing.
Yep.
But the blue screen, green screen, especially with they're called the fire ears.
Correct.
And
Yep.
they're these sort of bird dinosaur type
Yep.
things, which apparently look like a doll in Sarah's room. That's the meaning of it.
Right.
Because if you look in Sarah's room, there are toys and stuffed animals that resemble all the creatures in the Labyrinth, right? Which does beg the question of if any of it was real.
Mhm. True. That's a fair point.
Do you believe that any of it was real?
I
Or believe it was all a creation of
don't
Sarah's
know.
imagination from the book? She
I
read the book and it had the Goblin King in it, and
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair
she
point.
might have. It was 1986. David Bowie was big. She may have imagined the Goblin King as David Bowie
Yeah.
if she had a bit of a crush on him or whatever. There's ways to logically assume that. I don't think she's schizophrenic,
No.
but there's ways to assume that, it was all in her head.
Yeah, there we go. Look, there's all the dolls in a room.
Hmm.
There's Ludo there.
Ludo.
I'm saying this like people can see what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
There's Didymus. That's what it's called.
Didymus.
Sir Didymus.
There's a little Hoggle.
There's the fairy. There's Jareth, like a statue.
Statue of Jareth, yeah.
So I mean, it could be. It's
And the Jareth statue doesn't look exactly like David Bowie.
No.
So there's a bit of interpretation there.
So it's possible, and I don't know. It might make sense, maybe.
And even the little, they're like one of the goblins has a machine gun. I'm sure you've seen that as well. One of the goblins, they're wearing these battle suits that can fire the cannons out front. One of them has like a Gatling gun on the front. You're like, all right, okay, goblins. But let's get into our ratings for Labyrinth. It's a fantastic fantasy film. I have a lot of fun with it.
Yep.
The music by David Bowie, the performances, the puppetry, the orchestra of it. I'm going to give it an 8. It's gone up from a 7.5.
Solid.
I think an 8 is very solid for Labyrinth. As I say, I'm a massive Dark Crystal fan. This lends it to that as well. It looked like it could be in the same place as Dark Crystal as well.
Yeah.
All the fancy puppet. Jim Henson has such a way, and Brian Froud, and I've got a book at home that's like the world of Dark Crystal. It's like a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And Jim Henson has such a way, and the Henson Company have such a way, and Brian Froud as well, and everyone involved in this, all the makers of this, create such fantastic creatures that you could never have imagined, you could never dream of, right? You can never dream up these fantastic puppet creatures and to bring them to life and have them animated in such a way where they feel real, like they're there. I think it's just fantastic. I'm in awe of practical. I love practical effects anyway, you know me. But when it's actually there, I love a good practical effect, and this is that definitely. In this is the meaning of it. Labyrinth, I think.
Higher. I'm going to go an 8.5.
Oh, nice. I was going to hope for a 9 there, but an 8.5 is...
I really enjoy it, and I quite like it. And it's one of those films where you look at it and go, right, okay, look, story-wise it's decent, plot-wise it's fine, but everything else it's really good. So it just brings it up.
That's a great way to think about it.
Like, visually it's great, aesthetically it's great, it's, like I say, plot-wise, it's fine.
Plot-wise, it gets by, and that's all you need. She just has to rescue her baby brother from the Goblin King, da-di-da.
Yep.
And
nice, simple fantasy
then you
plot.
get the effects and it's like you're getting so much more. It's like you've come for dinner, and they're giving you the buffet.
Yeah.
You've come for a 3-course. The 3-course is nice.
Yeah.
But you get your buffet as well. You go, oh.
You do.
And you've got so much else to enjoy. A visual feast
is
Labyrinth. Stick that on your DVD cover.
Yeah, visual feast is Labyrinth. And if you look at the Bowie, you might get dessert.
Oh.
But yeah.
Now, your weekly rec, Corey.
Yeah, well, before I go on the weekly rec, there's something that's been bugging me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not.
It's not what's going on in David Bowie's trousers, is
No.
it? Okay.
Even though, again, if you watch the film, it's every scene.
What we mean.
Every scene.
We're very sorry, Ryan. We're very sorry.
Ryan, if you haven't watched Labyrinth, watch it. You'll know what we mean.
Yeah, right. He's seen it. He's seen it, apparently.
But you should know what we mean.
You know what we mean.
It's just part of the film.
We're not going to make any jokes about it.
No.
Any more they've already made.
Nope.
What's bugging you about Labyrinth?
It's just something I can't get my head around,
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, you seem to. You remind me of the Babe.
What? Wait, hold on. How do I say this? How do I respond?
Here we go. Come on.
What babe?
The Babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Voodoo? I know it's hoodoo.
Yeah, remind me of the Babe. Boom.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Anyway.
Thank you.
It doesn't actually do a kick. You throw something in the air,
No,
but
I've got to say what. He says what babe? What who? What who?
It is hoodoo.
Hoodoo, voodoo.
Yeah.
You do. Do what? Remind me of the babe.
There we go. Anyway. Weekly rec.
Thank you.
Weekly rec. You mentioned you had a book.
I did.
On Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
That shows behind the scenes. So maybe you would like my weekly rec.
Okay.
Which is not that book.
Okay.
It is instead Inside the Labyrinth.
Okay.
Which is a 1 hour 50 documentary.
Oh, wow.
On YouTube, which essentially just shows the whole making of Labyrinth.
Oh, fantastic. Have you already seen this?
I have. I've seen bits. I've not seen the whole 1 hour 50.
I might sit down and watch the 1 hour 50 for this.
But it's on there. It's 1 hour 50, behind the scenes Labyrinth. Go see how they made it. It interviews people like Jim Henson and that kind of thing. You just get a good scope of how it's made. I love behind the scenes and stuff like this, and just kind of creative processes and different thoughts and how things got made and that kind of thing.
Yeah, inside the Labyrinth here, the Fourth Wall.
Yep.
YouTube channel, and yeah, it's here. I think it's looks great. Looks great. I see all the goblins have names and everything. So what would you give the Inside the Labyrinth?
I'll give it the same as the film. I'll give it an 8.5.
5. Very, very solid. Just a great fantasy romp, I think. Not as scary as Dark Crystal, which is good.
No, it would have its moments, but not.
It does have its moments, at times. But especially where the people have taken their heads off and all.
I was going to say, they were firing people.
The visuals, falling into a pit full of hands that are trying to grab you.
Yeah.
Great, yeah. Even though I think everyone wants David Bowie to visit them in their dreams. Gotta say, but he's just so charismatic. He just eats up the screen time when he's there.
Yeah.
And every line, every David Bowie line, yes, even nothing, tra la la, all of that. The bog, the Prince of Stench.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm David Bowie. It's okay because I'm David Bowie. Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
We could be heroes just for one day. All of that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it does. He's screen time.
And it's part of his legacy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
As a singer, as a songwriter, as just an entity, the creature that is David Bowie.
Yeah.
Just this magnetic presence of a man.
Yeah.
That I'm just in awe of.
Yes. And judging by this film, he's got a creature himself.
Thank you very much for listening and watching our review of Labyrinth.
8.5.
8.5. David Bowie. Bog of Eternal Stench.
Yep.
Bog of Eternal Stench.
Tra-la-la.
Tra-la-la. Tra-la-la. Tra-la-la. Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed. Thank you very much. It is a goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.